Evening, Razorcade, Fake News 75. Microsoft's open source ecosystem of developer pipelines. Apple unveils iOS 27 and announces the final keynote. The transition begins. Researchers map the hidden mechanics of model skill acquisition. Scale alone fouls tokens per second on consumer hardware. The silicon accelerates. Intel secures multi-billion backup contracts. The foundry diversifies.
The top story originates from Rendon. Microsoft has temporarily locked GitHub repositories after a coordinated supply chain attack targeted artificial intelligence development tools. Malicious packages injected credential stealer scripts that trigger automatically when autonomous agents execute dependency installations. Over 73 packages were flagged before the initial response downplayed the severity. The repositories lock, the stealers inject, the agents trigger, the severity escalates.
This breach exposes a critical vulnerability in the modern deployment pipeline. Artificial intelligence agents now consume software faster than human auditors can verify integrity. The automation layer that accelerates development simultaneously amplifies the attack surface. Organizations must implement cryptographic package verification before every execution cycle or risk complete infrastructure compromise. The vulnerability.
Story 2. Apple has revealed iOS 27 alongside major artificial intelligence enhancements to Safari and the native phone application. Context-aware notifications will filter digital noise while call routing learns from user behavior patterns. The announcement coincides with Tim Cook's final keynote as chief executive. The platform updates, the notifications filter, the routing learns, the keynote concludes.
This release marks a strategic pivot toward ambient intelligence rather than direct interaction. The operating system transitions from a command center to a predictive background process. Engineering resources will redirect toward on-device processing and behavioral modeling rather than cloud-based feature expansion. The corporate narrative shifts towards seamless integration while the executive leadership prepares for success.
Story 3. Independent researchers have published a formal analysis of why larger language models consistently outperform smaller architectures on complex tasks. The study identifies a frequency overwrite mechanism where common training patterns systematically erase rare skill acquisition during optimization. The mechanical matrix, repositories, is that necessary?
This discovery fundamentally challenges the scaling hypothesis that dominates current investment strategies. Laboratory directors must now curate training data sets with deliberate frequency balancing rather than pursuing raw data volume. The computational budget will shift towards synthetic data generation that reinforces underrepresented knowledge domains. Model performance will depend on curriculum design rather than sheer parameter count. The hypothesis challenges, the data site's balance. The budget shifts, the design dictates.
Home lab. Xiaomi engineering teams have demonstrated 1,000 tokens per second inference throughput on a 1 trillion parameter mixture of experts model. The benchmark runs on a standard 8 graphics processing unit server without enterprise pre-encoding stack skew. Achievement proves to dynamic quantization and kernel routing can bypass traditional hardware bottlenecks for local deployment. The truth.
Independent operators should prioritize mixture of experts architectures when configuring local inference clusters. The routing mechanism dynamically activates only the necessary parameter subsets for each prompt, reducing memory overhead while maintaining reasoning quality. Hardware purchasing strategies will favor high bandwidth consumer graphics cards over expensive enterprise modules. The computational development shifts to software option and capital expenditure. The architecture's
Speculation time. Google and NVIDIA have initiated preliminary discussions with Intel to utilize the struggling manufacturer as a secondary fabrication partner for artificial intelligence accelerators. The orders target 3 million chips for 28 delivery as the TSMC capacity bottleneck forces supply chain diversification. The foundry receives a critical financial lifeline while the industry accepts geographic manufacturing redundancy. The discussions...
My prediction. National governments will mandate sovereign semiconductor fabrication capacity within 36 months to eliminate single-point supply chain dependencies. Artificial intelligence development will bottleneck around geopolitical manufacturing access rather than algorithmic innovation, while international trade agreements prioritize silicon sovereignty over tariff reduction. The access mandates, the market rewards, the sovereignty prioritizes. Okay.
That is your lot. I'm Razorcade. Microsoft locks the repositories. Apple unveils iOS 27. Researchers map skill acquisition. Xiaomi pushes 1,000 tokens. Intel secures the backup fab. The supply chain fractures. The platform updates. The skills map. The silicon accelerates. The foundry diversifies. See you tomorrow, if tomorrow exists.